AskReddit. Women who use Tinder, what are you actually looking for? I used it in my last semester of college mostly to meet people and casually date, since I was going to be leaving soon. That was 6 months ago, and I've been with my boyfriend I met on it ever since. So it goes. I just really like swiping. Have you tried Fruit Ninja? The stakes are too low. Every Tinder swipe puts your ego at risk. Kidneys. I'm looking for a normal guy to date and see if it can turn into something. Maybe he won't work, maybe he will become my best friend, only a regular sex friend, a boyfriend for a while, my future husband, who knows? I know it can seem pretty weird, but since there are normal girls like me on Tinder that just don't have the time and or opportunity to meet new people, I guess there are normal guys on Tinder too. I like to think I'm a normal guy who uses Tinder. Then again, here I'm on Reddit. Someone cool to hang out with and see if it turns into something. I've actually hung out with like 4 guys, 2 adults, and 2 are amazing. Went on 1 date with each and have second dates set up with each. I have no idea what to do if both of the second dates go well. Take them both on a date at the same restaurant and swap between the 2 for the night. Hilarity ensues. A friend with benefits. Health and dental. Someone to go down on me. Well, isn't that what we all want? Someone to share long walks, talk about everything and nothing, and mouthfuck the hell out of our genitals. A single tear just rolled down my cheek. That wasn't a tear. Wasn't their cheek either. A butt cheek is still a cheek. I was on there for a while. At first just liked flirting with strangers, but did meet a handful. I wasn't really into any, but we had a laugh on our dates. I didn't really take it too seriously. Eventually I met up with this guy, and he turned out to be exactly my type of guy. A good looking, intelligent, curly haired comedian. He was really easy to talk to. Everything about him was interesting, and we talked about stuff for hours. But afterwards the texts dropped off pretty quickly. After that I realized that you might have a large selection of people to choose from, but so do they, and the likelihood that, if you do decide you like someone, that they will choose you back is low. So I got rid of it. Edit. To answer 90% of the replies, I didn't want a relationship. If anything, I was looking for a FWB kind of situation. It just took the shine off it to feel a bit rejected. Also, yes, people can do this in real life, but it's definitely more concentrated on an app when you literally have everyone at your fingertips. I remember it being pretty addictive. I'm kind of paranoid now as I didn't think anyone would read this, but to all the people asking if it was you, it probably wasn't. Wait, so how is that different from dating outside of the app? Both of you will always have the other fish in the sea argument going in the back of your head regardless of how you met the person. Apps just facilitate many more meetings than you'd have otherwise. You really only increase your chances with dating apps, though of course it can get annoying going on so many dead-end dates. Well, if you go up to someone in real life and say hi, they are likely to respond. Or so I presume. I've never actually done this. Go away, creep. Usually. What are you doing? Get out of my bathroom. I used Tinder during my summer abroad to practice my French with locals in Paris. I never met up with any of them though, because that's how people get taken. Taken second. Taken 2, a very nice dinner. Taken 4, a fool. Taken 5, guys and fries. Taken 6, pick up sticks. Taken 7, 8, Fred is at your gate. Taken 9, Hitler reacts to Tinder. Taken 10, never sleep again. Taken 11, all dogs go to heaven. A mutually invested individual that may or may not evolve into something interesting. I feel like the majority of the people who quip about it being an app strictly for fucking are basing it entirely on anecdotal circle jerk nonsense and have never actually used it. For all of those suggesting OkCupid or POF, you've clearly not been on the online scene for too long. Poff is just as trashy, if not more so, and OkCupid is a waste of time depending on where you live. For me, it's a total waste of time. Tinder is ideal because you don't talk to someone unless you're mutually interested. Poff and OkCupid remind me of being out at a bar and constantly being drooled on by sleazy men who think no just means buy me another drink and then maybe. Oh man. Back in 2010 I got on OkCupid and realized how big a waste of time it is. It was so bad that I just decided to marry the first girl I talked to. Profile lifespan, literally less than 2 hours. No joke. Literally met my wife in 15 minutes of finishing my profile. We started talking immediately, went out that night to meet, and have been together ever since. We now also have a 3-month-old, but we didn't find him on OkCupid. We made him the old-fashioned way. Anything, really. Which sounds super open-ended, but I started out looking for a relationship, realized 2 days in that it probably wasn't going to happen, and broadened my horizons. I just go along with whatever happens, be it friendship or hookups, or whatever. I actually have a friends with benefits type situation going on right now with a guy I met off of Tinder. I didn't see myself ever doing it, but it's definitely a lot of fun. People over 6 foot apparently. I call it rolling 6 shallow. Women ideally want 6 feet tall, 6-figure income and at least a 6-inch duck. Don't forget 6-pack abs. I was on a business trip in Singapore for 3.5 weeks. A few days before I had to leave I signed up for Tinder because I wanted to meet some new people who could show me around the city. It worked out pretty well. I went out and explored the city twice with a nice, good-looking guy before I left the country. At first I was there to legitimately find someone to go on dates with, but now it's mostly become a way to collect entertaining and outrageous pickup lines. Best so far, I would bury my duck so deep in you, whosoever pulleth it out would be named King of England. Ideally, I'd like a boyfriend. If I happen to meet somebody with whom I clicked well with sexually, but doesn't have long-term potential, I'd be okay with a FWB situation. But that's not what I'm looking for. Another lesbian. Checks between legs. Damn. Maybe next time, champ. Banter. I was told nobody took it seriously even for hookups. Then a guy wanted a date, and I made myself go out of embarrassment. A short while after, I deleted it, because dating is horrifically awkward, and I'm currently shagging a friend of mine. So I guess everything worked out for the best. I did have a marvelous conversation with a random guy about coating myself in vaginal juices, and using it to propel myself through corridors in my medical school like a slug though. I wonder how he's doing. A guy who actually looks like his pictures and can carry his end of the conversation. Amazing how rare that is. Someone to go out for beers, eat pizza, have an interesting conversation, and macchiato with, which apparently is asking a lot. Well, that's because you're trying to do 4 things with your mouth at the same time. I'd say limit it to 2 at a time. Conversation and pizza work well together if you can avoid the spittle, and I've never not wanted to taste beer, so I can't see where that would be a problem while making out. This guyks. Okay, this will probably get buried, but I've been waiting for this question for a long time. Tinder is inherently pretty shallow, so the easy answer is that girls are looking for attractive guys just like guys are looking for attractive girls. However, I think girls, and maybe guys too, look for more than just physical attributes when deciding if someone's attractive. So here are my 10 tips for getting swipes on Tinder. Have your main picture be just of you and clearly show your face. I'm more likely to swipe left if I'm having to play Where's Waldo in your group photos to figure out who you actually are. Group photos can be a great way to show that you know how to make friends, but keep them in your later photos so I can already pick you out and I don't get my hopes up. that I'm talking to your hot friend. Also, any photo that doesn't clearly show your face should be heavily reconsidered for use. Photos that have a face hidden should only be used if they accomplish tip 2. Demonstrate your interest/personality. I've swiped right on a few guys I would usually overlook due to the fact that they had a photo on a beautiful sailboat, and I love sailing. If you're a rock climber, include a photo of you climbing. If you're a world traveler, stick in a photo from a trip to Peru. If you're a comedian, make a joke in your bio. I want to see who you are, not just what you look like. Don't make sexist comments in an attempt to be funny. This should go without saying. I can't tell you how many times I've unmatched guys because they start a conversation with "you look like you could make a mean sandwich" or something along those lines. Don't do it. No shirtless photos unless you're swimming in said photo. Please don't make one of your Tinder photos a mirror selfie of your abs. It isn't sexy. Have a photo where you're smiling if you have nice teeth. Nice teeth are sexy, and if your smile is bangin', flaunt that shit. Even if it's not bangin', smiles are attractive. Smile more, boys. Selfies are your friend. If you don't have a good photo of your face, go take one. We take selfies constantly, and we won't judge you for it. Don't, I repeat, don't include that famous Tinder line about "oh, so you don't date guys over 6 tall, but if I only date skinny chicks I'm shallow." I never said you had to be 6 inches tall, some other girl did. So all this line tells me is that you're shorter than 6 inches, you're insecure about being shorter than 6 inches, and you're pretty concerned with the weight of your potential partner. That's a red flag to me. I may not be what you'd call obese, but my body is far from what I want it to be, and lines like that just open a door for insecurity on all sides. I don't want to be worrying if this guy's gonna find me too fat. I'd rather just date a guy who doesn't mention weight, just like you'd rather date a girl who doesn't mention height. If a girl asks you how tall you are, and that bothers you, don't retaliate. Just unmatch her. And certainly don't take it out on other girls you might match with who haven't said a damn thing about your height. If you have an education, mention it in your bio. If you have a job, mention it. Girls usually read every word of your bio, and that's often a deciding factor in our swiping. If you've got good things going for you, let us know.